You're at the gym, running on the treadmill, you've passed that 5-mile mark, and everything inside of you is telling you it's time to stop. But right before you hit that red button, you push yourself to run one more minute. That feeling afterwards when you step off that treadmill is basically euphoric, and it makes you feel like you've just conquered the world. If you've tried it, you know what I mean. And that same rule applies to everything in life, according to the book, The Power of One More by Mylett. It doesn't stop just there. The book shares more tips to ensure you get closer to the life you dream of. Lucky for you, I'm here to make it very simple to implement because it's not just about reading, but actually taking action. Most of the time, our dream lives seem miles and miles away from our current reality. But what if you were actually just one step away? One more action, one more meeting, one more connection away. It all starts by noticing at what temperature you're keeping your personal thermostat. Let me explain. This very visual example that Mylett uses helps us realize the temperature we're currently at and what we want to improve to. The higher the temperature, the higher our standards. Just like the thermostat in any room is set to a base temperature, your thermostat in life is too. So a room might get cold, but automatically the thermostat would turn on the heat to get it to your ideal 75-degree temperature. Same thing if the room gets hot. Eventually your thermostat will regulate it back to that 75 degrees you set. Now, if your professional thermostat is based at 75 degrees, you're fine with having some good days at the office where you reach 80 and some bad days where you might be at 50, as long as you always come back to that 75. But what if your base temperature were at 90 instead of that 75 degree? Your standard is already operating at a higher capacity, and most chances are you would never drop down to 50 degrees because you're used to being on top of things and performing at a higher level. Your temperature regulator is always bringing you back to that 90 degrees. A marathon runner that is used to running 10 miles on an easy day wouldn't feel accomplished with going out and hitting 1 mile. That's just not their standard. So how can anyone from beginners to professionals at any age raise their thermostat degree to ensure that they're giving it their all? It's all done by following Mylett's identity change framework. And it requires 3 steps. Step 1, using faith, knowing that you are here for a purpose and to do more of what you desire. Step 2, using intention. Your reticular activating system basically gives weight to the things that are important to you and filters out the ones that aren't. That's why when you're craving something sweet, suddenly all around you, you see ice cream shops and happy people enjoying their dessert. Your mind is focused on what's important, but you're not seeing the hundreds of people walking around eating an apple. So if your goal is to raise your business thermostat by 1 degree, your intention is to always be vigilant of who could be your next potential customer. If in your mind you think you can land 30 new clients per month, you're a lot closer to it happening just by setting up your subconscious mind to always be on the lookout for those 30. Step 3, association. There's a reason why every wise person says you are a summary of the people you are around. Imagine if your 5 group of friends have 100-degree fitness thermostat. What do you think would happen to your 60-degree thermostat? They're obviously spending countless hours at the gym because that's their standard. So if you're hanging out with them, chances are, well, we'll be spotting you at the gym too. The opposite is also true. If your professional thermostat is at 90, but your college friend group is still at 30 degrees, what do you think is going to happen? Those 3 steps seem easy, but there's a catch. And this one requires more effort when implementing because it's working from the inside out. If you're okay and happy with your 60-degree fitness thermostat, you might raise it when you decide to train with your friends for a marathon, but as soon as that marathon is over, you'll likely be heading back down to your base 60-degree temperature. The moment you feel dissatisfied with your current temperature is the moment you'll commit yourself, and that one more mentality will happen Automatically. 1 more mile? Yes. 1 more client proposal? Of course. 1 more minute in the cold plunge? Sign me up. By continuing to prove to yourself that this is the new norm, not only are you raising the standard, but also raising your own self-confidence. Now, to the question that stops most people from taking action. If I'm doing 1 more thing, how is it possible to have time for everything? That's where Ed's theory of 1 more day comes in. He personally divides his day into 3 sections to make it 3 days instead of 1. From 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. is 1 day, then noon to 6 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to midnight. That would be day 3. His theory is that he gets to live 1,000 days in the time span that others are getting 365. To put it into action, pairing the implementable tips from the Atomic Habits book review with the 1 more theory is a great action plan for anyone to be 1 step closer to that dream life. If you've already read the book, go ahead and drop your thoughts down below. And if this episode left you hungry to know more, the book link is down in the description.